What's up, Planeswalkers? It's your boy K-Dog. Got another fun, casual, best of one historic list. This one we're revisiting Vaevictis, Asmadi the Dire. It's kind of a personal favorite of mine. And, now that we're nearing the end of the standard season as a new set is almost upon us, it's kind of fun to revisit these kind of fun, casual decks. So Vaevictis, for those who don't remember or not familiar, is a 6 mana 6/6 Elder Dragon with flying, of course. And it's got this pretty interesting activated ability here, or excuse me, not activated, but triggered ability. Whenever it attacks, for each player we choose a permanent that player controls. So we're going to be choosing ourselves and our opponent, a permanents on each side, and then each player has to sacrifice those permanents. And then we each look at the top card of our library. It gets revealed, and if it's a permanent, it comes onto the battlefield. So since we're all permanents here, pretty much everything we get is going to enter the battlefield. So we're going to get a creature, a land, planeswalker. We're going to be getting something, guaranteed, 100%. Our opponent's going to be probably playing just, maybe some sorceries, instants, some non-permanents. And so we'll, if they do get a permanent, there's definitely some downside where they might hit something really nice and juicy. But, this is it's a fun casual card, and that's kind of what we're here to do at the end of the standard season here. So running 3 copies here. It is legendary at 6 mana. We do want to hit it consistently, but, we don't want always in our opening hand because, 6 mana spells in your opening hand usually aren't great. So just 3 copies, just to make sure we can hit it relatively consistently. We'd have some nice card draw here to kind of help dig for it in the as we kind of make our way up there. So we're running 4 copies here of Elvish Visionary. It's 1/1 for 2 mana, which enters and draws a card. So just draws a card, we get a 1/1 creature down to kind of chump block for us while we're getting set up and digging for our Vaevictis and whatnot. We have 4 copies here of Paradise Druid that kind of ramps us. We're in Jund colors, 3 colors, so we do need a little bit of fixing as well, and Paradise Druid helps with that. We do need some interaction, of course, so 2 copies here of Murderous Rider for instant speed interaction on creatures and planeswalkers, and then just being able to play it down as a 2/3 lifelinger, kind of buy us some time, and help us maybe stabilize a little bit against more aggressive decks. 2 copies here of Treacherous Blessing. It's an enchantment that draws 3 cards when it enters the battlefield. Obviously, you see this in decks like Doom Foretold because it's a perfect sacrifice target. Vaevictis, we need something to sacrifice, so this is a perfect thing to sacrifice. Once it comes down, it already did its thing, drew us some cards. However, whenever we cast a spell after that, we're going to lose 1 life. So that's a little bit of a downside, but we do have some life gain with the Murderous Rider and another creature you're about to see coming up. So, we don't mind running just a couple copies here to draw some cards. We're going to lose a little bit of life as we're kind of going up to 4, 5, and 6 mana spells, but it shouldn't be too big of a deal to take 2-3 points of damage, and then we can easily sacrifice it with a Vaevictis trigger. 4 copies here of Elvish Rejuvenator. You see this in like Field of Dead decks and things like that typically. We're doing kind of a similar thing. We're using that kind of a ramp and then a 1/1 chump blocker. The nice thing about this is with Vaevictis, it gives us a land and a 1/1 body. So we have 2 great sacrifice fodders here for our Vaevictis. So we can dig for something else. And if we hit one of these off of Vaevictis, that's not really a big deal either. Just gives us more fodder, another chump blocker, etc. And we've got a couple copies here of Extinction Event. Just a nice kind of a mini board wipe. Choosing odd or even to exile each creature with mana cost of the chosen value. Most of our important creatures here are even, 2, 4, and 6 drops. So we don't really mind, choosing odd in a lot of cases. Obviously we'll lose things like Elvish Rejuvenator and things like that, but that's not really that big of a deal to us. And especially if we're doing this before Vaevictis comes down, then we don't really mind choosing odd, even in certain situations. So it's kind of a nice 2-of here to kind of give us a little bit of protection as we're kind of ramping up to our big power plays at the top end. And Ravenous Chupacabra. It's a 4 mana 2/2. When it enters, destroy target creature and opponent control. It's just kind of a fantastic in any mid-rangey type build. Obviously, if you hit this off of Vaevictis comes into play, it's a free kill spell basically. So that's pretty sweet. 2 copies here of Domri. It's a 4 mana 5 loyalty planeswalker. +1 to add green or red. If it's spent on a creature, it gains Riot. Riot, of course, is you choose to put a +1/+2 counter on it or give it haste. So this is a way for us to both ramp into Vaevictis and give it haste at the same time, and that's exactly what we need with the Vaevictis. That's kind of the one thing that's lacking is haste. You want to be able to hopefully attack with it, turn it comes down whenever possible. We do already just 2 copies of Domri. It's really hard to kind of fit good haste enablers into a list like this. You could go more like red with like Perforos and things like that. So that's definitely an option. But I think just kind of keeping it in the middle with a Jund, because then you have things like Paradise Druid that ramp you, and the Elvish Visionary and Elvish Rejuvenator that also kind of help you draw cards and ramp you up as well. So I think it's kind of better, generally speaking, just kind of have that balance. And then of course we can -3 to dig for more creature cards. Look at the top 4 cards and reveal up to 2 creature cards of those and put them into your hand. So -4, basically draw 1 or 2 creature cards. It's pretty sweet since we are pretty creature heavy anyway. We have a couple planeswalkers, but pretty much everything else is creatures. So we're definitely able to hit pretty consistently with a Domri either way. And if it sticks around long enough, the -8 is pretty fantastic as well, with making 4/4 red and green beast creature tokens with trample. A little more interaction here, and 2 copies of Cavalier of Night, 4 mana, 5 mana, 4/5 with lifelink. So it's really good against aggro decks. When it comes down, we can sack another creature. If we do, destroy target creature an opponent controls. And when it dies, return a creature with mana cost 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. So this has some nice synergy here as well, because we don't mind sacrificing our Elvish Visionary, Elvish Rejuvenator, things like that, to kill something on our opponent's side. And then if they do deal with our Cavalier of Night, we can just get our Visionary or Rejuvenator right back to the battlefield and get that card draw with either a land or just a draw card. So we're going to get some pretty nice value either way. Moving on to our other planeswalkers here, we got 2 copies here of Vivien Reid. So we're mostly creature removal here with the Chupacabras, Extinction Events, Murderous Riders. Vivien Reid lets us destroy artifacts, enchantments, or creatures with flying. So she kind of clears the air for a Vaevictis to swing in through the air unabated. So obviously with Vaevictis, you're going to just choose a flyer as well for the to make your opponent to sacrifice it. But Vivien just kind of is another way to kind of keep the airs clear so Vaevictis doesn't get nice, clean swings. And again, since we are pretty creature heavy, the +1 is fantastic as well. Look at the top 4 cards. You can reveal a creature or a land from them, put it into your hand, so she can help us find our Vaevictis as well. And then, of course, the -8 is pretty devastating for your opponent, as you get an emblem with creatures you control get +2/+2, Vigilance, Trample, and Indestructible. Last planeswalker here is 2 copies of Angrath the Flamechain. So it's a 5 mana 4 loyalty planeswalker, so it's pretty decent. +1 to make your opponent discard a card and lose 2 life. So hopefully, you kind of force your opponent to discard a removal spell. So a little bit of protection for Vaevictis in that way. And also you can -3 to gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it, gains haste, and you sacrifice it if it has mana cost 3 or less. So it can be kind of removal on your opponent's side, or if your opponent's just being aggressive and they keep attacking you, or you can just take one of their creatures that's maybe the best creature and just swing into them and kind of use it on creatures against them. And if it has mana 3 or less, then it gets sacrificed and you get to kill it as well. But whatever creature doesn't have to be mana 3 or less that you target. It's just the sacrifice thing cares about the mana cost. And you can even do this on your own creatures. So there's another way to give Vaevictis haste. So that's a nice little trick as well. And -8 probably not going to be too relevant. You're probably going to be either winning or losing the game by that point. But if the game does drag on, your Angrath is kind of just sticking around, +1ing every turn. Each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in your graveyard. So you can definitely do a lot of damage that way as well. And last couple cards here at our top end here, 1 copy of Embercleave. This is just kind of the dream scenarios. If you have this on top of your library with a Vaevictis attack trigger, and you can just flash this in for free thanks to Vaevictis, and then equip Vaevictis, giving it +1, double strike, trample. That's pretty much the dream right there. And Kogla here, 7/6 for 6 mana, of course. When it enters, we can fight up to 1 target creature you don't control, and when it attacks, destroy an artifact or enchantment on our opponent's side. So a little bit more enchantment and artifact hate, also being some creature removal as well. So we're pretty. We have tons of creature removal, so we are pretty well set in that regard with Kogla, the Cavalier of Night, the Chupacabra, Extinction Event, and Murderous Rider. So. And even some interaction for some non-creature spells with Vivien Reid and things like that. And of course, Vaevictis can make your opponent sacrifice any permanent. So lands, enchantments, whatever you need, planeswalkers. So yeah, so we have plenty of interaction. Just a matter of ramping up to Vaevictis and getting those attack triggers, those sweet attack triggers. And going over our mana base here, just 24 lands, since we do have the ramp with Paradise Druid and things like that. So 3 swamp, 3 forest. We're pretty much mostly black, green to splash in red for some like Embercleave and Angrath, things like that. So we don't really need any mountains, I don't think. So 3 Blood Crypt, 3 Dragonskull Summits, 3 Overgrown Tomb, 3 Woodland Cemetery, 3 Rootbound Crag, 3 Stomping Ground. So just keep it nice and simple here with 3 of each for shock lands and check lands. And final here, our little bit of tech is Labyrinth of Skophos. Taps for colorless. However, you can pay 4 to remove target attacking or blocking creature from combat. So if we're struggling to kind of find our Vaevictis, we can kind of take out our opponent's creatures by removing them from combat. Or in certain situations, a little bit cheeky, like against a thing like a Settle the Wreckage or a Seal Away, we can remove our own creatures from combat and protect them. I think that would still work. So definitely something I'm looking forward to trying out. Haven't really had that come up yet, but definitely could be a little bit interesting tech in certain situations like that where you could protect your own Vaevictis by removing it from combat. Especially if your opponent has too many flyers and you can get one attack trigger to blow up one of their flyers, but they still have another flyer that can deal with it, or maybe they flash something in. So there's definitely some kind of fringe scenarios where this could be pretty interesting. So just for the versatility and for the potential upside, I was like, it was pretty fun. Obviously, you could just be safe and run like a Field of Ruin instead. That'd be perfectly a reasonable card as well. But we're just invested ones, just trying to have some fun. So let's go and run Labyrinth of Skophos. All right, that's the deck. Let's go ahead and jump into some matches and see how we do. It's Holy Warrior Rye. Yeah, Paradise Druid, a couple card draw, some removal, 3 lands, all 3 colors. Seems decent enough. So probably go Paradise Druid just in case we can ramp into something here. Also the hexproof. My opponent's showing Mountain though, so that's a little scary. They could have some aggressive deck, but no turn 1 play. And if they're just holding up a shock or something, Paradise Druid says hexproof. So we'll hold on to Treacherous Blessing until we need it. We'll just drop these Visionaries down, get the card draw, keep digging for lands, and Vaevictis, of course. Mountain, still no play from our opponent. Goblin Instigator. Okay, so just either a tokens deck or maybe just some kind of a goblins build, mono red goblins. Certainly possible. There's Vaevictis. Do we play second Visionary? I think we just hold on to it. Definitely felt like our opponent had a shock there on 1 and they just decided not to shock our face, decided to save it. So I think we're just going to play around shock for a little bit here. Because if we can keep drawing lands, we can get this Vaevictis ahead of curve. That would be nice. So they do have a 2-drop and a token, which is 0. Gutter Snipe, though. Okay. Yeah, we don't care about our Visionary. We'll just do that. Second Paradise Druid. So now I just have a token and a 3-drop, so I think we're okay with just continuing to run creatures out. And then we'll have the ramp next turn. So we have 4 lands plus the 2 Paradise Druids, so if we have to tap both of them, we will just get Vaevictis down. It's going to be difficult for a mono red deck to deal with. Obviously, it's possible they have like shock into Lava Coil or something like that, but especially with Gutter Snipe. But so far, they're still looking like a mono red goblins just trying to be cute, maybe with Gutter Snipe and a handful of burn spells. If they want to spend all their burn spells on Vaevictis, I guess that's not the worst. That sucks because we do want Vaevictis alive. So since we're at 19, I think we just shock here to make sure we keep 1 Druid around. Just make sure we have plenty of fodder for Vaevictis and also chump blockers now that we're kind of getting into our late game. So I think next turn we drop the Treacherous Blessing before combat to draw some cards and then sack that to Vaevictis and kind of go from there. Obviously no attacks, we just want the Vaevictis attack next turn. Our opponent's stalling out here for whatever reason. If they do play more odd drops, odd costed creatures, we do have the Extinction Event. But so far this Gutter Snipe isn't too threatening. Let's see, I believe they're up to 5 mana, so they could have like a Siege Gang commander or something, which would be pretty nasty. But without mana to activate it, then we're not too worried about that. Okay, active treason. That's pretty brutal. That's pretty brutal. I'm not gonna lie. I think we'll go for the blocks here. We'll see what they sacrifice. Probably a land, I would assume. I mean, we don't have anything too crazy to lose here. And we're going to get something off the top because we're the... Wow, they got a Siege Gang commander off of our Vaevictis. And they sacrificed our Vaevictis. Oh, that's brutal. That is brutal. Alright, well, we'll choose odd. Down to 12. I think we just play this out as a 2-3. I did not even realize you could sacrifice the Vaevictis to its own trigger. But I guess, yeah. Just choose any permanent. That's, And that's the problem with Vaevictis. It's one of those cards that's just kind of a magnet for removal. Which is why it's not very competitive at 6 mana. But we're not out of it yet. We do have the card draw here. We got some lifelink on board. So we got 2 more Vaevictis in the deck. No other big threats are off the board. They just have a bunch of 1/1 tokens. So not in a great spot, but we're not in a terrible spot either. But yeah, it was pretty brutal losing to Vaevictis before we even got a single trigger off of it. Our opponent still has plenty of cards in hand, which is kind of weird for a mono red list. They are running some weird cards. Command the Storm. Down to 6. Think it's worth getting rid of the Lava Runner here? So we lost 1 down to 5, which is pretty scary because they're going to have some pretty nice burn here in Historic. They're running weird burn spells like Command the Storm, which only target creatures, so... Obviously another active treason and something like that would be pretty devastating, but we'll see. Lava Axe. Alright, against Naruto Senju. Hand's okay. Can Rejuvenator to get us some ramp. All 3 of our colors and opening hand. It's good to see. And a Chupacabra. There we go. Some nice interaction there. Temur Prismite. Okay. Prismite, not a very good card. Adventurous Impulse, sure. So still no idea what our opponent's up to. Okay. Go for the Rejuvenator, get some ramp action going on. I don't think it matters too much. We're pretty set on lands, so I guess we'll go Blood Crypt. So we have a little more black spells in our hand. If they have some kind of a aura, we can just Chupacabra this creature away next turn. It's not really clear the Season Growth is relying on instants or if it's relying on auras. Yeah, you've got lands over here, dude. Blanchwood Armor, okay. So they're on the aura-based strategy. 5/4, we'll block. Chupacabra can take care of that. Could Angrath as well, but it doesn't seem super worth it. I mean, they only have one creature so far, which, I mean, a Season Growth deck typically is kind of a mix between creatures and spells, so if they're struggling to find creatures, then just keeping them off creatures and then force them to discard their hand seems fine. Not sure what the blue and red are for. Yeah, 6 land, definitely going to go for the Vaevictis and hope they don't have a way to interact with it. And then do we want to, probably just want to get the Rejuvenator Visionary down for sacrifice fodder. And hang on to Angrath maybe one more turn. Okay, you're running Swiftwater Cliffs with the Get to Paradise just so you can tap for green mana. Okay. Silverback Shaman. It's a pretty decent card. Let's go for the Rejuvenator. Get some lands out. For the Visionary, draw another card. And yeah, we'll just attack. I'll just sack a land. I think I should go for the Season of Growth. Not really too worried about their Shaman just yet. Oh, Extinction Event, okay. So just one of our 2 non-permanent spells. Impulse into Gateway Plaza. Okay, you have all these weird lands, but no spells that are... Everything's been green and artifacts, so... No idea what they're up to with this mana base. Has trample, so we'll just take it. Could block with all, but it doesn't seem particularly amazing. So weird hesitation there. So this is a 5-drop, so we lose our Rejuvenator. That's not really too big of a deal though. I think we just do it. Better than letting them draw a card. Odd. We'll save the Blessing, Treacherous Blessing for last here. Our opponent's doing things. I guess we'll go with Skophos, why not? Swing all. I probably don't need all these lands. Here to their land with the R on it. Another Visionary, okay. Third Elvish Visionary. And opponent packs it in. So kind of a weird deck there. Alright, against Zero Gaming with it next. Hand's a little slow, but we do have some card draw. Angrath could be interesting. Don't like the Embercleave in the opening hand, but we do have the Murderous Rider, so we can kind of kill whatever comes down with these lands. So I really don't trust the shuffler to give us anything better, so we'll keep it. Yeah, we'll go Rootbound Crag, since we don't have anything that will allow us to play, come into play untapped. So we'll just get it down now. I can follow up a swamp, and then these two will both come in untapped after this swamp. So we're drawing all of our nice Vaevictis payoffs, but none of our ramp and none of our card draw. Opponent showing a Mardu. Still hasn't played anything yet. Hushbringer, okay. We do have some enter the battlefield effects, so probably want to get rid of that. But we'll see what they play first. Pridemate. That's cute. We'll just get rid of the Hushbringer. They don't have any way to enable the life gain, so. Let's go Domri and just hope we draw a land next turn. If nothing else, we can Angrath or Cavalier, because we don't have to use that to cast a creature. Kroxa. Okay, Hushbringer, Pridemate, Kroxa. That's cute. So here, I guess we might as well go for Angrath and steal Pridemate and get rid of it, just to get it off the board.
Never see water pure crew for my fishing.
Kroxa number 2. So we'll start with Angrath +1. You gotta discard something now, your turn. It does fuel their Kroxa escape. And let's see, 5 other. So they're up to 4. Let's go counter, I guess. Draw a card, play the Rejuvenator. Stuck on 4, so let's go ahead and grab another land. Black, 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 green, green, red, red. Yeah, it doesn't matter too much. Just anything with black in it, which is all of these. I guess black, green for the Kogla or Paradise Druid. Yep. Alright, so next turn we have Cavalier or Kogla. Or we could just go Paradise Druid, Murderous Rider. Vivien. We'll start with plus. I mean, they were stuck on lands to even escape the Kroxa, but they are filling up their graveyard. Okay, so there's the Hushbringer. So there's the Hushbringer meme deck. Cool. We'll go plus. I guess we go Kogla. Okay, opponent backs it in. So we're gonna Kogla there, destroy their giant killer, swing in. Then we have a 7/6 they have to deal with. All right, against Cole Rocky. We do have the Rider and the Chupacabra, and the land seems fine. Just one green. Pretty good chance we draw into our Paradise Druids and Elvish Visionaries, things like that. So, well, I'll give it a try since we have some nice interaction. All three of our colors. Okay, looks like we're against Merfolk. So if they go super wide on us, we're going to have a hard time. We do have Extinction Event, which can help. But we'll see. Obviously, Jade Bear on turn 1 is the most threatening thing. So they have to do a bit of a less than ideal start. Okay, really thinking about this turn 2 play. Very important. Silvergill Adept. Okay, so they're Herald of Secret Steams. So try to put counters on your things, make them unblockable. Cool. So this is a 2-drop. So looking for Extinction Event, ideally. Still no counters on their creatures though, so that's good. They're reading all their cards like this is the first time playing the stack. Okay, another Silvergill Adept, sure. Rather than taking 2 life, I think we'll just go Rejuvenator here and just save the Murderous Rider for like the Herald of Secret Streams maybe. And of course we do have Chupacabra available to us as well. So they can play Herald here for 4 mana, but they have no counter, so we can block whatever we want. If I were them, I'd swing all because I'm more likely to block one of your 2/1s than your 1/1, so you have a free 1 damage right there. And yeah, let's get rid of the Secret Steams before they get counters on their stuff. And then we have Vaevictis next turn. So they seem to be playing a little bit of a Mimi Merfolk deck with the Herald of Secret Steams, rather than the more competitive versions that are kind of running out there. Yeah, Seafloor Oracle. Okay, now I have a 2/2 and you attack with your 1/1. That... Sure. I mean, they would get the card draw from the Seafloor Oracle, so I guess that makes sense. Alright. Next turn, so we have 6, so we can Kogla and kill an Oracle maybe, and swing in, sack a land. Guess that seems decent. They tap down our Vaevictis, swing 3, draw a couple cards. Well, we'll fight the Oracle, get rid of their card draw. And we're at 8, so we're not out of it yet, but Merfolk does have plenty of tricks up their sleeve, even in this sort of almost like an old school Merfolk deck. Disperse. Okay, they swing 3, we get another trigger though. River Sneak can't be blocked. So take out the 2-powered creature. We'll attack. I think we'll just go for the basic forest and we get rid of their unblockable. Enters tapped. I get a Deep-Root Elite. That's lucky. We do have a blocker, but they've shown they have plenty of ways around that, so we'll see what they got here. Okay. So they get attack 2. Alright, we'll ramp back up with the Rejuvenator. Rootbound Crag. I mean, if they have a sleep, we're just dead, so I'll just keep flooding the board with creatures. Hope it's enough. Obviously, we can't kill anything with Murderous Rider. We can play it down as a 2/3 lifelinking body, though. But if they have a sleep, then so be it. Or there's that 4-mana Merfolk that taps all the creatures as well. Yeah, reading each and every creature. If you have a sleep, just cast it, dude. You don't need to be cute. You're bringing the Rejuvenator back to our hand. Okay. If you want to attack, I'm blocking here. I'm at 3, so I kind of have to. Just a Deep-Root Elite. So you have a River Herald's Brune or something tricksy. Looking at their graveyard, it's a little interesting. Permanent weak control. We'll sack the tap land and go to the Deep-Root. And just a land. Okay, destroy the Jade Bear. Perfect. So I guess if we had attacked all, we would have won. So guess I'm a bit of a dumb. Of course, we didn't know what they were going to hit off of our Vaevictis trigger. Yeah. So we still got there, right? Pretty close game. Merfolk making things interesting with their bag of. Alright, up against Mushi. We're missing red, but we do have Murderous Rider at least. And Embercleave isn't great though, but we'll try it. Banehound, okay. So there's Vaevictis, so we got a lot of top end here. Banehound and Arboreal Grazer. Okay. That's a Nightmare. Is this like a Kahira deck? So we don't have any good Murderous Rider targets here, so I think we just play it out as a 2/3 lifelink body and see if they have removal. Okay, Bloodthirsty Aerialist. That's a good target. Opponent got off to a fast start, and we got off to a slow start, so we'll see. 3 Banehounds. Extinction Event's a pretty good draw here. There goes their board. I love to find some lands. So one spell in hand. I'm sure it's a removal spell. No. They just hold nothing but lands there. There's a Rejuvenator. We can find some red, hopefully. Perfect. Rootbound Crag. We'll take it. Need to get some life back. So we'll attack. Okay, do you have removal or not? Because they're saving it. So we're missing triple black for the Cavalier, but we do have Domri or Angrath. There's Dragonskull Summit. I don't like that they're holding cards in hand, though. So let's just swing and then Angrath, I think. So they're holding something. Some kind of removal spell, I'm sure. We're about to find out. You can respawn with a removal spell if you like, then you have to discard your other card. Okay, so they're holding Murder this whole time. But chose not to use it. Well, it's +1, force that last card out of their hand. Boneyard Lurker. Good Embercleave, but that seems pretty medium. Okay. Our opponent kind of played that weirdly, but brings Boomer 450. Triple Visionary. Can't go wrong with that, right? Start on a swamp into cemetery. Hunted Witness. Sure. There's a land. Sure, you can have a token. Showing mono white so far. Yeah, let's Rejuvenator here, and then we have options on 4 to double Visionary or Chupacabra. And then we can still block their token with our 1/1. Swamp it is, so no red yet, but nothing in hand that cares about red either way. No attacks. Also a Visionary, see what we find. All the basics. Second Visionary. I guess this is our third now. Domri, which we can't cast yet. Let's just keep dropping these forests. Say no attacks, just stay back on blocks so we can find our good stuff. Inevitable End. Seems pretty medium against this. You could Chupacabra, but it's not really doing a whole lot. I think we're just Blessing here and try to find some red and some other stuff. Okay, that's pretty good. Rejuvenator, maybe that can find us our red manas. Summit it is. No attacks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sigil of the Empty Throne. That's cute. So we'll just go and drop Vaevictis. Still no attacks. So if they play an enchantment, they get a 4/4 Angel. So we'll swing Vaevictis. Don't think these creatures matter. I'd rather hang on to lands for now, I think. Get rid of the Sigil. Oh wait, Seal Away only cares if it's tapped. So yeah, that does not work. Chupacabra can come down though. I got a 1/1 spirit thanks to Bishop. Wow, Bone Splinters. And they're running empty. So I do want to deal with that Bishop because it's a ton of value for them. Domri. And we'll minus next turn. We'll go ahead and get this Druid down, I think. The +1 counter and no attacks. So we're taking a bunch of damage with this Treacherous Blessing. So -3, and there we go, Vaevictis. So unfortunately we had to use the minus to find it, so no haste. So swing all, see how they block. I'm fine with that. We'll hold on to Murderous Rider for now, I think. Not too worried about a 1/1 spirit. So they fire off the Seal Away when we have a Vaevictis in play. Same as seems pretty good. We don't even have any good Vaevictis targets on them. So I guess we just blow up this spirit. So we'll just Chupacabra and just get another creature down. Go haste. Bye bye. We have plenty of lands to sacrifice. So we'll get the tapped forest and we'll ping away their black sources, I guess. Getting rid of the Seal Away for a Paradise Druid doesn't seem worth it, and obviously we don't need our. Oh. Well, since I got a Baird, then yeah, it was a good target. Could just Murderous Rider as well, but we'll hang on to that. Now that we have the Cavalier down, I think we'll just go ahead and fire off this second Treacherous Blessing. It's a little risky though. And pass turn. So if we fire this off, we're taking 4. But yeah, we will give our Kogla haste. Attack your 3/3. And boom. Alright. I'll go ahead and wrap it up there. So yeah, pretty fun, casual little deck. Obviously we're a little bit vulnerable to super aggressive decks, but you know, we have plenty of move with the Chupacabras, the Cavalier, and things like that. Obviously you could kind of make it into a best of 3 with more disruption for control decks and things like that, and some more sweepers like Cry of the Carnariums maybe, or something like that. But yeah, probably just better as just a casual best of 1, so you can just kind of go all in on Vaevictis and kind of having fun with those shenanigans. So yeah, it's kind of a fun little casual card that I personally enjoy playing, and hopefully you can give it a try if you haven't already. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, make sure you jank with a purpose.